Hey, what's up guys? We're just doing a little review on the Volkswagen Crafter. It's the 2018 model 3.5 tonne van, diesel of course. Now my little review is just weighing out a few pros and cons as to what I found with the van. And I'm going to go into a bit more detailed information comparing it to the Sprinter. So basically, the Sprinter being the Mercedes of course. Anyway, so basically, I have been driving a Mercedes Sprinter at work for now 3 years, and they actually handed back the old vans and we got them replaced with these new Volkswagen vans. Now at first obviously everyone was a bit like, oh, brand new 18 plate vans, and we'd just gone from, I think they were like ranging from 13 to 15 plate Sprinters. I do miss the Sprinter, but I'm going to go into detail now with the pros and cons on the Volkswagen Crafter. So I will start with a pro and a con, So I've actually written a couple down, refresh my memory. So one of the cons was definitely the fuel. The fuel on these, I believe, is getting around 22 miles per gallon, which is, in my eyes, poor. I know it's a van and it's a workhorse, but the Sprinters were a lot better on fuel. I mean, so much more better. I've travelled from Sheffield to Hull. It took me about an hour and 10 minutes, and I used a quarter of a tank. That was averaging 70 miles per hour throughout the journey. They were pretty poor, really poor. I'll go now to a pro, which would be the modern look and the modern feel of the van. Now the van does feel, obviously it's because it's a 68 plate, it does feel nice. I'll just give you a little glance. I don't know if you can see much of the interior. That's the where the Bluetooth media and everything is. Got all the control buttons. The steering wheel, I've got a pretty con about that, to be honest. I'll get onto that. Yeah, so overall it does look quite modern. It does look pretty nice. It does look the business, especially on the outside. I would show you the outside, but it's got all the all my works lettering and stuff on. I'd rather just keep that out of the video. But I'll go on to now another con, which would be up the steering, like we just mentioned. So with the steering, I find it absolutely awful. I feel like you're not in a van anymore. You're not driving a van. You're not in a workhorse. It's too electronic. It's too modern. Do you know what I mean? You just don't feel like you're in a van. So basically, it's very light, very light. That when you're going around roundabouts, if you let go of the steering wheel, it'll spin back quite quick, but to the point where it's that quick and electronic that it flings you the opposite way too fast. So if you full opt left and let go, and it starts to go right, you actually turn right as well because it slings that quick, and it's just not nice. I mean, a lot of people, I do, I'm sure a lot of people do, when you're going a roundabout, sometimes you just let go of the wheel and it starts spinning you back round to go right for you. Do you know what I mean? It's not a common thing, but if you do it, you know what I mean. So I'm not a big fan of the steering at all. When you're going around corners and stuff, obviously this is front wheel drive, whereas the Sprinter was rear wheel drive. So you feel like the grip on this is just poor. Very poor. I feel like I can't go around corners nowhere near as good. I know it's a van and I shouldn't be saying this, but I can't go around corners as tight as what I could on a Mercedes Sprinter. But also, something else that's just reminding me with the steering is the turning circle. The turning circle is horrendous. Now, obviously, I've done the same run from Sheffield to Hull for, well, 2.5 years. And I found that the Sprinter, I was able to actually go through round certain corners in one shunt. I could do U-turns in certain areas in one shunt. In the Crafter, I'm not lying, three turns, 3 shunts to do something that the Sprinter could do in one go. And to me, that is a big thing. Cornering and turning, especially in vans, is a big thing. If you need to get out of smaller gaps, stuff like that, you want something that's going to near enough do it in one go, not going back forwards. Honestly, the steering, I don't know what they've done with it, but I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it at all. Now we'll go back onto a pro, because I just feel like I'm saying everything bad about this van. So we'll go on to a pro. which would be actually the speed of the van. And the speed, do you know what? It's actually quite quick. I have 2 pallets full of stuff, and some people have more than what I've got on. And I'll tell you something, it's still got the power there behind it. It is still fairly quick and decent. I do like it. Another pro is also this is the basic model I've got, and it's actually a fairly cheap. I don't know the exact price, but I know it is one of the it is the cheapest one that they do. Obviously, being a work company, they got a discount on with them buying so many of them. So I don't know if that's if you're a company that's looking to buy multiple, be aware. Obviously, I'm sure you can get discounts for buying quite a few vans. To be honest with you, we're just going to finish it off now with what we got. Oh yeah, it's probably, to be fair, it's just a couple more cons really, and then I'm going to do a summary of my entire video of what I think to it. But the wing mirrors, now the thing is I don't like about the wing mirrors is the bottom wing mirror. Right, when you're reversing, it feels, it looks like the objects are a lot further away. And not just that, so if you're on a motorway and you look in your wing mirror, if you use the bottom mirror to if there's a car in your blind spot, it actually looks further back than what it is. And it's actually not, it's actually quite close. And I don't like that, whereas the Sprinter was so accurate. It was like it was literally like right bang on. You could see where it was. Do you know what I mean? If you thought the car was further away, then it most likely was. But then another thing as well is, if I can find it, it's quite bumpy, this van. It is actually really fairly quite bumpy. I'm not keen on, when I say bumpy, I mean like, obviously like when you're going on speed bumps and stuff, you feel like you're bouncing everywhere. If you've got fragile loads, I don't think, I know you take it steady, but even going steady over speed bumps is still quite bouncy. And it's the suspension on it, it's a bouncy suspension. And if you've got fragile stuff, say glass or whatever, you're going to want to take like extra care when going over speed bumps compared to other vans where you could probably get away with going a bit quicker over them. Overall then, comparing the Crafter to the Sprinter, I feel like the Crafter has more modernness to it. Generally, inside and outside does look fresher. It looks more modern. It does look nicer. And there's more. It's not as simple. There's more to it. But overall, the Sprinter in my eyes wins. Even with it being a 15 plate, it still wins. I mean, you're talking a 4-year-old van has won a 1-year-old van in my eyes, just because of the practical. Oh, it's too early in the morning. We can't say that word. Practicability. It's just so much more ideal for the jobs that a van is designed for. Obviously, a 3.5 ton van is designed for carrying things in, and I feel like the Sprinter focused on that pretty well. Whereas the Crafter, I feel like they just slung out a load of basic cheap vans. Let's give them a modern look. People will buy them, think they look nice, and they've missed the entire point of detailing within the actual structure of the van. So the suspension, the cornering, the turning points, etc. And that's why I feel like this Crafter van has been ruined, like myself. Don't get me wrong, overall, I'm going to give it a rating out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6, which is still fairly high. I can't knock it too much because it's not the worst thing I've ever drove, but there is a lot of bad points that could have been addressed to by Volkswagen on this van. So yeah, that's my review, guys. If you're looking to buy one of these, pretty sure you probably found other reviews that might have been a bit more detailed. Obviously, I've just pulled over in a corner to do this on the road. But yeah, I'm hoping it kind of helped you decide. So yeah, if it did, please leave a like. Any questions, feel free to leave comments. I'll answer them. Subscribe. Nice one.